It is time for your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. This time, we are talking about some new events coming up. We are talking all about Hela and yes, some possible Asgardian reworks coming to the game. All of that coming up right after the word from our sponsor, ClanHQ. ClanHQ is a new, fully featured messaging app, and it's got all your favorite bells and whistles, like all the other messaging apps out there. But what sets ClanHQ apart is it allows you to integrate your game data right into the app, and it makes it so easy when you are trying to recruit for your alliance or when you are looking for an alliance. And they also just added voice and video calling capabilities. Yo, Khasino, what's up, man? And also a new dark mode was just recently added to make the app a little easier on your eyes, guys. And hey, the best part about ClanHQ, they're adding new features all the time to the app, so it's just getting better and better and better, and you could be one of the first in your alliance to use it. Plus, in addition to Marvel Strike Force, ClanHQ supports over 75 other games, including Contest of Champions, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and many, many others. So check it out, guys, and make sure you use the link in the description. So check out ClanHQ, guys. Good stuff there. But if you are ready for your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update, you know what to do, guys. Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
All right. It is time for the news, guys. What is up? I am ValleyFlyin. I am joined by my brother, Khasino. We are here for the Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. What is up, Khasino? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Woo, we got a lot of stuff going on, man. We got Hela news. We got some Asgardian talk. We're going to talk about a possible rework that was hinted a while ago, new farmable characters, and some events coming up. Lot of good stuff, guys. And as usual, this is going to be a long news video, so timestamps are in the description. So let's get it started, guys. Check out some of the links down below to support the channel, Patreon, BlueStacks, and yeah, make sure you check out ClanHQ, guys. But first thing that pretty much happened, we got a new farmable character, and this is a pretty good one. Falcon just came this past week to Nexus 7.3. What are your thoughts on Falcon being farmable, and what should newer players be expecting from this character?
I absolutely love Falcon being farmable, and it was a pleasant surprise. They didn't tell us they were going to do this, so It's great news. I like Falcon a lot, so I think newer players should definitely go after Falcon. I absolutely love Falcon. I use him every single day in arena, like even in the most endgame arena in the game. Falcon is fantastic. He seems like he's a little bit geared for war, and he's definitely really strong in war, but his special is incredibly powerful. And if you pair him with any characters that give energy, it's a lot of extra turns. It's really, really good. And he also really excels against multiple enemies. So while he's not the safest raid pick, he's an excellent utility character. If you have an otherwise safe raid team, he can get people so many free turns. It's amazing. So.
Oh, I love that speed bar, and I know the way you use him in arena when all those Ultron bots spawn with a positive effect on him. He is giving so much speed bar to everybody. I love it. I love watching him in action, and he is a great character. So guys, go after him if you don't already have him and you're not like focused on a team, because you will really enjoy Falcon. And that is some good things that has come to the game. But let's talk about some weird things that is happening right now with one of my favorite characters. He is part of my favorite team. He is a major part of that team, Ghost Rider. There are some bugs with his kit, and you probably know more in detail about what exactly is going on. What is going on with Ghost Rider, and how is he not working properly?
So they're actually, as far as I know, they're still looking into it. They understand part of what's broken. I have some theories on it, but I haven't looked closely enough. But the short version is his passive isn't always working. His passive, when someone on his team gets killed, he retaliates for a ton of damage, and then he gains charged, and that charge allows him to use his ult, and he also gains a bunch of ability energy. And that allows him to pretty much immediately ult, and the charged means that he gets a ton of healing off of that ult. So basically a ton of damage, and then almost always the very next turn, a big ult for a ton of healing. and that's pretty core to his kit. And yeah, it's not working all the time. So
what is actually
part of
happening?
it-
I'm not familiar with these bugs. What is actually happening now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just someone dies on his team, and someone dies on his team, and then he just stands there like everyone else. Like, well, I didn't see anything.
Ooh, what's going on?
Yeah, he just like, what? Did someone die? Oh, I wasn't watching. So sorry.
You don't get this.
Yeah.
You don't get this extra move because I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, and it's a really big. Even if you don't have the T4 in it, it's still. I think he gets 2 ability energy. He hits someone for 400% damage. Might be piercing damage. I have to check. And he gets charged, so he gets 200% drain on his ultimate, which it enables him to pretty much use right away. So yeah, it's really, really big. Him not getting it is horrible. I want to draw the distinction because there's one part of it that we thought was bugged, and it's on purpose, or at least it's in the code.
Okay.
And that is, it's not triggered by passives. What I mean by that is if you attack a daredevil,
Okay.
and then Punisher's passive causes him to retaliate and kill you,
Okay.
then Ghost Rider's not going to do anything about that because it was from a passive.
Okay.
But it makes for some weird circumstances. It makes for, Shield Trooper doesn't get retaliated on, Captain Marvel from her passive doesn't get retaliated on. So I feel like that should be fixed. It's not a bug, it's coded that way, but I feel like that should be fixed. Same thing with like an Elsa on the enemy team. So yeah, that I don't like, but that's part of it. What's actually bugged are, we know for a fact, bleeds. If someone dies from a bleed, he doesn't count it. So that needs to get fixed for sure. And then the ones, I haven't checked these, but I suspect that it's like probably part of this collection of things. Firstly, bonus attacks. Mm-hmm. We saw some people die to basic attack and he didn't retaliate. I think it might be because the initial attack didn't kill them, but then the follow-up, like JJ will hit, 2-3 times.
Yeah.
I think if it's the second or the third hit that kills, he might not retaliate, but I'm not sure. I have to watch a little bit more closely.
Goodness.
And then counters and assists. Again, I haven't watched these, but I think it might not be checking for counter and assist either. So for that reason, because like that's kind of the standard. Most abilities don't check for those things.
Yeah.
Like Gamora, when she gets a reset, if she kills someone with her ultimate, she doesn't get a reset if someone dies from the follow-up Miss Marvel assist. Yeah. Because it just doesn't check for that. So I'm guessing that his
But Black Panther does, so I wish they would just make things more consistent across the board. Even if
I agree.
It just makes it so much simpler instead of, this character does this in this circumstance, but this character doesn't do that in this exact circumstance. It's just come on, VoxNix, make it simple. Make it simple. Jeez.
I agree. So here's where we're at. Passives aren't supposed to be counted. Bleeds are definitely not being counted, and they should be. Counters and assists and bonus attacks, I'm unsure of, but I think those might have something to do with it. And then unrelated to that, it's possible sometimes that it's just not counting from just a normal attack also. But yeah, just keep an eye on your Ghost Rider. Make sure his passive is proccing, because it's supposed to go off every single time except from a passive, and it's not. So yeah, there's something going on, but Ghost Rider's not operating at full capacity, which makes sense.
VoxNix, you charged what, $50 for his offer? Get it straight. Jeez. Let me ask you a follow-up question though. Sometimes when there was bugs in the past, sometimes they fix the bugs, but other times they have changed the wording of the description to match what it's actually doing. What do you think they're gonna do in this circumstance?
I'll tell you this. I think they only have one choice here. Because like characters they've done that with in the past, either like it was already good, so they just changed the wording to explain the good that was happening. Like with Rocket, they just changed the ability description because it was better than it would have been probably.
Yeah.
And with Yondu, like although they probably had an offer for Yondu, like Yondu was like a foundational character. Like almost everyone playing had Yondu for a while. It's not like he was a new character. With Ghost Rider,
Hawkeye's another one though. Don't forget Hawkeye. Hawkeye had this cool ability, and then they change it to do what's actually doing, and it's like, Hawkeye's okay, but yeah.
They've done it a few times, but normally when it's a new character, it's very different. And none of the previous examples were new characters. Like I don't know that I would have spent as much or gone as hard for Ghost Rider if I knew that his passive only procced some of the time, because there's a good amount of instances where it's not proccing and it's supposed to. So I don't think they have a choice on this one. I think they need to make it do what it says it does, because like everyone has been assuming he's as good as he is, assuming that that's always functioning.
Yeah.
So I don't think they can get away with rewording this one without having to issue some refunds, which
that would be very, very bad.
So you got to make him do what he says he's supposed to do.
Make the people's will happy, Fox next. Make it work like it's supposed to.
Make Ghost Rider great again.
Yes, make him great again. Speaking of his supernatural team, his teammate Elsa Bloodstone got released. I think we were expecting it a little later in the week, but it did happen last week. And what are your thoughts on her? I played with her. I didn't build her up to match the level of the rest of the supernatural, so I don't have a full grasp of it. What are your thoughts on it? Because I'm sure your team is matching itself, the rest of the team in power level.
She's pretty close. So she is the weakest one, but not by too much. I have her right now at 4 gold, 4 red stars, and obviously I'll get 5th gold and a 5th red star shortly after her campaign event starts.
Because you pulled a big one on there. Don't forget that. You got a big 6th one on there. 6
I have 6 red stars on her.
Congratulations, by the way. I don't think I told you that.
No, thank you. I'm continuing my streak of getting the highest red stars on the most replaceable member of the team. But so she's a full damage character, so she will benefit a lot from those red stars, but that means I'm gonna have to get really high gold stars on her to take advantage of them, and high gear tier and all those things. And then so I mean, she certainly does pretty well. She actually has some missing text from her past as well. Again, it's not, I don't know if it's missing text, but it wasn't stated clearly in the normal description. She doesn't care about passives either. So she'll cover for a teammate if they miss or if they get dodged, but she won't jump in and attack if a teammate who's blinded misses, or if a teammate attacks someone who dodges with a passive ability. So characters like Killmonger, Punisher, Shield Trooper, Captain Marvel's passive, all those things, if they miss or get dodged, Elsa just acts like she didn't see it.
I gotta say, I was looking forward to that blind. My characters get blinded a lot. There's a lot of mortals that I'm facing, and I was like, oh, if he misses, at least Elsa will hit him. But that's kind of disappointing to hear that she will not.
Well, it's only from passive abilities. She does cover for people being blind.
Oh,
it's
okay,
just
okay.
specifically
I misunderstood you.
abilities.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, she still does a lot of retaliating. But there were a couple instances where we were like, why is she not retaliating? And so part of the reason why is so you don't get stuck in a super long loop where, because like if she misses, she'll attack again. But if she missed on her passive, she'd have to attack again. And if she missed, then she'd have to attack again. And she has over 100% accuracy and pace.
That makes sense.
She could get stuck attacking a lot.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed out on my stream that that it would make her upgrade, which just gives her more accuracy on her passive. It would make that, it also gives a little bit of damage, but it would make that a lot less valuable. So I get why they've done that. There's a couple instances where that hurts them, but not really. But that's a small thing. I just want to put that out there, though, for people that want to understand the intricacies of how Elsa works. But all in all, she's doing very well. Again, she is a character that you need at high star and red star just because she's pretty much all damage.
Yeah.
So, you know, she doesn't get away with being the weak one on the team because she's just there to do damage. If she's not doing good damage, then she's not doing much other than like activating other people's synergies by having the tag. But yeah, I mean, having mine at a moderate power, she already does pretty good damage. And here's one thing that I've noticed about her. So I already completed the Orange Essentials for Supernatural. I'm going to guess that if you're uploading this on Wednesday, there's a chance that Wednesday night that video will go up. Otherwise, it'll go up Thursday. But yeah, the amount of damage that she does is already pretty good. And then she's in an interesting spot where pretty much all of her upgrades, only one of them is so much damage that you have to do it, but they're all pretty good. Okay. So she just gets a lot better. If you cover her with T4s, she just becomes real scary. Again, they're not necessary because they're just kind of big damage increases that you don't absolutely need, except for the special, in my opinion. I think that one you shouldn't pass up. But that's kind of the theme of that whole team, since we're talking about the whole team here. The Supernatural team, in my opinion, they only have like 5 T4s that you absolutely need that make just a huge functional difference in what the team can accomplish. Okay. But unlike other teams where like some abilities are good, some abilities are bad, whatever, The Supernatural team has almost all pretty good upgrades. Not quite must-have, but if you really want to put a lot of T4s into this team, like they have more room to grow with T4s than other teams. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
They stand to improve a lot with a bunch of T4s that on their own aren't must-haves, but when you keep making significant improvements, all these things, yeah, they become, and they're already such a good team. So I've continued to invest in them. I'm really happy with them. Starting next weekend, I will get another really, really massive T4 that I really want for that team, and that's when I think will totally come online. But
what do you have so far? Oh, the passive for Doctor Strange.
I have Ghost Rider's passive, and I have Mordo's passive.
Okay.
And now I just need the Strange passive. I still want the Strange ult and the Elsa special, but yeah, I want that Doctor Strange passive. Once I have that, that's like the holy trinity where now you're not really worried about Doctor Strange dying. You've got heal, sustain, everyone's got the extra health. You're really rocking and rolling, so just looking forward to that.
Super important to that team. If he dies, the team kind of slowly falls apart. But so yeah, making him more survivable is super important. What are your overall thoughts on this team? I am very, very happy with it, but I have mine built backwards. My support is very high level, and my 2 damage dealers, Ghost Rider and Elsa, just because you can't really farm them a lot right now. They're super low. So I got a backwards Supernatural team. I'm super happy with them. How are you feeling with this correctly built Supernatural team? Oh my goodness, where do you think they fall into this meta here?
So like I said, I mean, we talked about this originally, and they're a good transitionary team. So the thing is, like, in my opinion, the most impressive wins they get are over the Guardians, including Guardian Nerva, including the Vision Guardians of the Galaxy Minerva teams. So
okay. Nice.
In short, they do a really good job of beating BKT. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because mainly your progression as you're going through the game, you know, once you've done heroes and villains, then you're doing Nexus, and once you've done Nexus, you tend to go for Cosmic and Star-Lord, and there hasn't been a reason that enough people recognize to go for the Mystic campaign. I've been saying it the whole time, go for Mystic campaign. You want to be able to farm all those nodes, but the problem was that the trade-off of going for Mystic campaign was you had to invest in all these Mystic characters that didn't really help you that much in other game modes.
Very true.
Now you get an arena step up. Since the Supernatural is better than the Guardians, even if you have Minerva, even if you have Vision, you're going to get a better arena team than that by going to the Mystic campaign and powering up Supernatural. So now you have double the incentive to do it. So I think they perfectly fit right there. And I mean, they beat a lot of meta teams. I regularly beat Fury Shield with them. There's definitely teams that I wouldn't fight with them, but they beat most teams. Just being a better arena team than the Guardian Nerva team. I don't know what the top 5 teams tier list is going to look like exactly for this patch, but in the previous patch, Guardian Nerva was like the 3rd or 4th best team, I think, and they're better than that. So they're already a top 5 arena team.
Yeah, I just did one as well. I think I put Guardians at number 3, and I think I put Supernatural at either 4 or 5, just because I don't have them built yet. But I love this team, and I heard that they're super easy getting through that whole Mystic campaign with this team, just because they're good now. It's like you were saying, there weren't a lot of good Mystic characters to really mow through that campaign, and that is very important. There's a lot of good characters in that to farm. So nice. Yeah, no, I like it.
I think they're better. They're just straight up better than the Guardians, and that alone is something. And it's really good for Alliance War, because now you can use them to take down those BKT teams, and you still have teams like Power Armor, Fantastic Four, and X-Men for other stuff. So yeah, I like them a lot. I think they're super solid mid-game arena, and otherwise just a really reliable blitz and war offense.
Yeah, and more importantly, again, this is a game. I think they're a fun team. I have a lot of fun with this team, so they are very highly rated for me right now. Let's move on to some blitz changes. We heard about some blitz changes on Reddit. Cerebro made a post about this, that they recently did some blitz changes, and we talked about this a little while ago. I know there was a lot of people unhappy with this, but what he's saying now, the ability level of opposing characters should now be more appropriate to the ability of your characters. No more commander teams, and tiers 1 through 4 will show fewer meta teams. And I think they talked about that in a blog post a long time ago. I don't know if that actually happened because I know people are saying Ultrons and Phoenix in those lower tiers. What are your thoughts on these Blitz improvements? And I know you can't see me, but I'm making quotation marks with my fingers there. What do you think about these improvements with Blitz?
Well, so actually, I have quite a bit to say on this, and only some of it is pertaining to this post. But so,
okay.
I mean, none of those changes sound bad, right? That all sounds like things people
sounds
want.
good. I agree.
Yeah. So that's the first thing is that alone, like, all right, yeah, that I'm fine with all that. I look forward to those changes. But what I happen to know is that they're still working on other Blitz changes. They want to make changes to the Blitz mode to make it more fun, and I can't give any specifics because it's stuff I'm not supposed to know from.
I was hoping for some specifics.
I wish I could give specifics, but so here's the thing.
No, don't break any NDAs, dude.
I'm not gonna. I heard a good amount of specifics, and then I heard, never mind on those specifics. We're gonna figure something else out, and so it seems like they're still up in the air. But I do at least want to give this word of encouragement, which is. Okay. Every major thing that people wanted changed about Blitz, they were looking to change at that time. A lot of things that are not mentioned in that post, they are also looking to fix. Okay. Again, I'm trying to be really broad here, but a lot of the things that people have complained about with Blitz, like if you're reading that post and you're like, well, that doesn't fix what the real problem is with Blitz, odds are they are also addressing whatever you think the real problem in Blitz is, because they're making some big changes to a lot of different aspects to Blitz. And I'll simply say this, and I don't know what their final form changes are going to look like, but I'll say this: they were fixing the right things, and they were definitely making them better. Okay. They weren't fixing them in the way that I would have wanted them to, but they were still making them better. So it's kind of like we had a saved squad issue and we were like, just make separate tabs for each mode, and they're like, well, we'll give you 5 more save squads, and you're like, well, this is better. It's not what I would have done, but it's undeniably better. So that's how I'd sum up the changes. Is it's certainly not perfect, and who knows, maybe they've gone back and discussed even more changes. I have no idea where they're at now, but they had mentioned making other bigger changes to Blitz that I thought were very promising. And I'll tell you this, if they had just put the changes live the way I had heard about them, Reddit would be celebrating. So that's good. I don't know.
Smile to my face.
I don't know if it got. Yeah, I'm whatever the Blitz changes are, because of the line of thinking they were going along originally. I'm looking forward to the changes we're going to get. Don't know what they're going to be in final form, and don't know when, but I'm looking forward to what we're going to get. So that's good.
Nice. But let me ask you another follow-up question. I know you can't go into details of what changes they were talking about. When did you hear this? Was this before they implemented like the first wave of changes that happened with, I think there was a previous update, or was this after they've already implemented it? Say, oh, people are complaining, let's do this. Okay, nice.
Nice. Well, so I think they were planning it the whole time. So they'd said they were going to do Blitz changes, and then we got the first like soft Blitz changes. But I think even then they were planning on doing more. I think they've wanted to re-examine the way the brackets work, the way the rewards work. I think they've wanted to look at all that stuff. But I'll say this, I mean, they've definitely heard all the complaints. They know what everyone's complaining about. They know that people don't like there being a top 1500. They know people don't like not getting any shards in the second Blitz. They know that people don't feel like they can, earn enough from Blitz, and like they do understand exactly what the issues are. And so they want to address them in some way or another. They definitely want to make them better. They might not make them perfect. I don't know what they're going to do, but they know what to fix. And I think they were planning on doing it all along. I think they shot themselves in the foot by saying we're making Blitz changes and then only doing the small changes we saw first. Everyone, because they didn't say then more Blitz changes are coming. I said the whole time, like, don't worry. I know they want to do more Blitz changes.
Well, I don't know if you remember when we were in the FoxX offices, they were talking about all these different changes to Blitz. And then when we were on the bus ride back, we saw the blog post like, oh, they're going to change this and this. That's it. We're like, what the heck? That's not what they were talking about. What is all these things that they were talking about? We're getting a change to some tiers? What? This is nothing.
Right.
So.
All they had to say is this is the first of several changes coming out over the next few patches or whatever, but they didn't. But so when all is said and done, assuming that they follow through with the things that they were trying to address previously, I think Reddit will be very happy with it. Not just Reddit, just the player base at large. Okay. So we will see. I gave a little bit of feedback. I don't know if it reached anyone or if they care at all what I say, but I was like, there's even smarter ways to make this stuff better, but whatever they do, it's definitely going to be better. So
I agree. Blitz definitely needs some changes to be better. And another post on Reddit from Cerebro was about a gold screw up that happened this past weekend. There was a 666 event where you got extra bonus gold from campaigns, but it seems like it bled into other game modes as well, including the Iron Man event and some of the gold rush challenges, the daily challenges that happen. So they're not giving the rest of the gold to the player bases. What are your thoughts on this gold screw up, and then kind of the perception that the community has that we're getting less gold, we need more gold? Because I know it's a fine tuning balance. You don't want to give too little, but you definitely don't want to give too much either. So what are your thoughts on all this gold issue and this gold controversy that's going on?
Kind of conflated two topics. So let's back up.
I tried to minimize the time. I see we're already at 26 minutes and we got like a quarter of the way through our topic. So
no worries. Well, some of these are pretty short, but so the screw up. They should just give everyone the gold. It's a pretty small thing, but like people doing the final stage of the Iron Man event got like an extra 670,000 gold.
That is a big amount.
Yeah, I would go back and do it if I could. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I don't want my 7-star Iron Man. Give me this thing again.
So just like give everyone 1 million gold, and that costs FoxNext nothing, and everyone's cool. So just give us gold. It's that simple. But yes, they should. On to the gold perception. So you'd mentioned this. Valley wanted to talk about a perceived gold crunch just because so many people are talking about a gold crunch.
Let me talk about why. I couldn't remember everything that happened this past week. I'm on Reddit, and it seemed like every single other post was about gold. So I was like, should we talk about this? Like, no. It's like, then you're like, all right, let's just talk about it real quick.
We could talk about it, but it really is an issue of perception, and no one ever wants to hear this, right? People will call me FoxNext defender, FoxNext shill till they're blue in the face because they want stuff, and I'm telling them they don't necessarily need it, and no one ever likes to hear that. I would be so much more popular if I was like, yeah, we should all get way more gold. I'm well aware that I could just say that, and everyone's like, yay, go Khasino, go Teledebs. But the fact of the matter is, like, we have been tracking, the people on my Discord have been tracking how much gold we're getting, and we're just getting more. With each patch, we're just getting a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And so Valley was like, what do you think about the recent gold crunch? I'm like, recent gold crunch, the only change they've made to gold recently is they did an event where they gave us more of it.
Well, there is one thing. There's one thing.
From campaigns.
It's kind of 5 new characters this update, 6 if you're counting Coulson. So that is more characters, and it takes a long time to get the gold to level them to a proper level. So that I think that is kind of where the perception's coming from. If they just did 3 characters and gave us the same amount of gold or a little extra, people would be like, oh yeah, it's cool. But with extra characters, I think that's where it's coming from.
I hear what you're saying, and people are also torn spending their gold to level people to max level. But here's the thing. People keep making the mistake of thinking that you're supposed to be able to spend all that gold on every character. You're not supposed to. If you were naturally getting enough gold to level every character, you would never buy a gold offer because you wouldn't need gold. The whole point of, like, there's a reason they have so many gold offers. They want you wanting it. You're supposed to want it. You're supposed to not have enough for everyone. At the end of the day, part of the major aspect of the challenge of this game is it's about resource management and choosing who to put your gold in and when. So I totally understand people who are like, well, I just got these 3 characters. I only have enough gold for one of them. I need more. Yes, but that's part of the game. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's no finish line.
Picking up track and being like, oh, I love crossing the finish line, but I have to run so much to get there. Like, well, yeah, but that's part of it. Yeah. It's not the fun part. I get it. It's a grindy game. There's a lot of resource management, so we will always need more gold, and I'm fine with it. Like, I'm not like telling Foxes like, no, don't give people gold. Like, if they want to give everyone 50 million gold tomorrow, great. I'm all about it. But we're not more crunched for gold unless you're trying to, max out every new character, which you're not supposed to be able to do. So
Yeah.
Maybe people have different expectations. I don't know.
Well, here's my thoughts on gold. I definitely need more gold, and I would buy all of that gold if they gave those kind of Gold Gate 2.0 offers that they did a few months ago. I would buy those, not even think about it. I would buy all the gold I need. So you can definitely make some money, Fox Next, if you want to do some gold offers like that in the past. I would spend money. I'm not a huge spender like the people as well here either. But let's move on to another topic, and I think it's a little more exciting. My tinfoil hat theory was ruined because it looks like Hela is coming to Blitz. We saw this in a data mine, but we also had this in an in-game mail, so it is official. Hela is going to be a Blitz character. What are your thoughts on this Blitz, and how crazy do you think these scores are going to be? Because you're not just getting Hela, you're getting Hela and Greg.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they
2 for 1.
As with any, whatever. I refuse to indulge you for that. But anyway, no. I mean, as with any new character, the scores are going to be higher than they've ever been. So yeah, scores are going to be sky high. Hela is going to be an amazing, amazing character, and I plan on going really, really hard for Hela. I mean, that's about it. She's going to be amazing, and. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of Blitz.
You know what? I cannot believe that you didn't say that you're gonna go hella hard for Hela.
No, I feel like I tired that out from her teasing her.
Go. Well, you did an interview with Cerebro a while back, and in that he said, I don't remember his exact words, but what was alluded to was that the Thor and some of the Asgardians would be getting, or I guess Thor and Loki would be getting a rework when there's another Asgardian released. What have you heard anything about this since then? Because he talked about it back then. I haven't really heard anything since then. What are your thoughts on a potential Asgardian rework coming now that Hela is coming to Blitz sometime?
So we definitely haven't heard anything concrete. There's nothing anywhere that says Asgardians are getting reworked. Yeah. But there's some clues in place. So his wording on that was, if we were going to rework Asgardians, it would make sense to do when we released more Asgardians. And yes, they did release an Asgardian, and
sort of.
And there doesn't
technically there doesn't in the game, but yeah.
Yep, and there doesn't seem to be any Asgardian reworks. But so when they gave us the Envoy info on Hela, they were very clear to say, this is not a complete team. This is an incomplete team. Okay. So extrapolating from that, I don't know when, but I'm guessing they want to add more Asgardians, right? It'd be just kind of weird to have them be like the 3-piece.
And some rumors that were mentioned on this news show a while ago was the names Heimdall and Sif. And I don't know if they're still floating around, but they were a couple months ago, Heimdall and Sif. So I would be excited if they came to the game, and I would be excited for this rework if they did add more Asgardians to complete this team.
Right. That's my current assumption is that we will eventually get Asgardian reworks. Probably when we get more Asgardian characters, if we get more Asgardian characters, which again I think is likely. And the main reason I say that is if you look at Hela's kit, it has some specifics about war defense, and it doesn't really make sense for her to be war defense because she's not like a plug and play war defense character. She's clearly like an Asgardian war defense character. Yeah. So it leads me to believe we're gonna get an Asgardian war defense team. Like that's what it seems to suggest. And as a general rule, even outside of Alliance War, she's she's like heavy sustain, lots of healing, stuff like that. So that's my best guess is we'll eventually see Asgardian reworks with new Asgardian characters, and it'll probably be weighted towards sustain or defense or things of that nature, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Somebody, not us.
That's true.
Hopefully it will be some cool characters. I'm almost liking these. I'm always liking these characters. I don't like the gold crunch that it brings, but I do like having them in the game and having to make that choice. Next thing, this is another thing on Reddit. So Rebro is doing a lot of Reddit posts. This was about Ultimus 7. This was something coming tonight. Changes coming to Ultimus 7. They are aware of the points. They're looking at, instead of 9,400 raid season points for clearing 30%, they want to increase it to 22,000, which makes a lot more sense. And then talking about the other big thing, the blue ability materials, and they're having discussion as well. What is your reaction to this, and what do you think is actually going to be done? Because the points looks like it's going to be changed, but some other things looks like it's just in discussion at this time. So what do you think is going to happen, and what is your reaction to what it looks like is happening right now?
Yeah, I mean I've been advocating for both those changes for a while. If you're just working really hard to just barely get 38% in Ultimus 7 just to keep the same amount of points you were getting for 100%ing Ultimus 6, like that obviously shouldn't be the case. It's obviously way tougher to do Ultimus 7, and you should be getting more raid season points. So that needed to happen, and I'm glad it is. Simple enough. As for the changes to blue gear, again, the blue gear missing is a big issue. I don't know what their solution is going to be, so I don't really know how I feel about it. But while I have a People's Whale treasure trove of blue gear, and I don't really need it, plenty of people have just enough blue gear, and the only reason they're able to sustain their blue gear stash is from the blue gear orbs from Ultimus 6. And now that that's been cut off, when they get a new character, they don't have the blue gear, so they end up having to waste a lot of time and resources buying and farming blue gear. And yeah, I kind of feel like if you're doing Ultimus 7, you should be, for the most part, past the point in the game where you have to go back and waste time farming blue gear. Yeah. So yeah, I hope they find a way to passively give it to us. Again, it seems easy enough to me to just add it to Ultimus 7, or make blue gear orbs really, really cheap with raid currency, or just give out more raid currency from Ultimus 7. Whatever it is, there should be a bunch of different ways to do it and have it make sense. But yeah, we'll see what they came up with. But yeah, I hope they just put it in the raid.
Yeah, maybe something, man. I didn't like having to farm all that blue gear to gear up Coulson. I was like, geez, I didn't know I had to get this stuff, but we've been doing Ultimus 7 for 2 weeks, no blue gear, and yeah, I had to go back and farm nodes for blue gear just to level up my characters. So I am looking forward to that part as well as the changes, and hopefully they'll do some more with the raid currency like you mentioned a little bit ago. One more thing on Reddit. There was a client update that happened today as we're recording this, yesterday if you're watching this when this video is released, and it's an optional update, but I guess the Elsa Bloodstone event will not work properly unless you do this update. So if you have not heard about that, make sure you guys do that on your Android or iPhone. We also have a Cable Blitz coming. This is a very old character. What are your thoughts on Cable? Should newer players be going hard for Cable at this point?
So I'm on the fence about this. I mean, yes, right? You should go after every character. Mm-hmm. So Cable, I think, is a pretty strong character. He's good in short engaged modes because he doesn't have AoE really. So he's not really good for raid or for the darkness or things like that. But for Blitz as a war substitute, things like that, I like Cable. And I've been saying this, and I will continue to say this: Cable is always one patch away from being meta. And what I mean by that is, if it ever comes down to your character has to go before someone on the enemy team, Cable just gives everyone on the team 5% speed bar on spawn. So if you have a strong Cable that you can sub on to your arena team, if it ever becomes about who goes first, the team with Cable will win. So
I like that.
I like Cable for that reason, and then I really, really like Cable right now on my Sinister 6 in place of Green Goblin, who I still have on the original Spider-Verse.
Explain.
All right. I mean, I explain this pretty regularly in a lot of my content, but I'll catch people up here. So, in short, if you're taking the Sinister 6 into the Defenders, now you can use Vulture's special on whoever you want. You don't even have to hit Luke Cage because they all go a little bit faster. And then Cable can hit Luke Cage with his special and rewind his turn meter. And then Vulture will go with his ult and rewind his turn meter even more. And you end up just obliterating their team, and Luke Cage never even ults because it's just rewind. But basically, he speeds them up. He does even more turn meter rewind, so they just get even more ahead and are able to lay down even more damage. And then on turn 2, he has this giant, unavoidable, super heavy damage nuke. So, yeah, and he takes a hit well. He does good damage, so... Hey,
I like that. I like that. I like that. I might be switching my Blitz teams based on what you just said right there.
Oh, highly recommend it. I've been using them, and yeah, they never lose in Blitz for me. So.
Oh, I want to try out that team. After we're done recording this, I'm going to go try out that team right now. The old school Sinister Six. All right. We got some other things happening. The Elsa event. We also have a Payday event. So more gold, but Elsa Bloodstone event. And what are your thoughts on this? What is there to say about this? I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, there's just nothing but good news. I mean, nice, yeah. Character event campaign is the best way to farm a new character. Everyone should get a good amount of Elsa shards. Plenty of people are asking, like, hey, how hard should I go for Elsa? I don't think she's the most critical character. She's not a crazy good solo character, although she is an excellent counter to characters that like to dodge and evade a lot, or characters that like to blind a lot, although if blinding's the issue, you can usually just run Rhino. But yeah, I mean, she's good on the Supernatural team. If you're already going hard for that team, you might as well go hard on Elsa too, because of how well she fits in on the team. But if you don't go that hard on Elsa, even though I think she's a well above average character, I think that she's probably the least important character of the 5 coming out this patch. So again, I like her. She's definitely worth going for, and everyone should get a good amount of Elsa shards. But if you don't go all in on Elsa, I think you'll be okay. Now, that's who knows if they'll be needed to unlock some new legendary characters. So as always, I recommend if you can get every new character to 5-star just to be safe on a legendary event, or at least on most legendary events. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's good news, and we always get a lot of like free good purple gear from it too. So yeah, if nothing else, looking forward to that. A little bit of extra gold to help with this crazy gold crunch.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. Only one thing that I'm noticing right here, she will be in a multi-character orb, the Hunter Squad orb, and it looks like all the trick-or-treat characters are going to be in there as well. So Yep. It's kind of been standard, but a little disappointing. Interesting thing here. A lot of people have been asking about this Day of the Dead milestones. It looks like this is going to be for raid battles, and this is like alliance milestones that you have to hit on a daily basis. It's going from October 31st to November 4th. Day 1, a mutant and a mystic character. Day 2, a skill and a tech character. Day 3, a tech and a bio character. Day 4, a mystic and a tech character. And day 5, a mutant and a mystic character. And if they're gear tier 11, you're going to score even more points. So, what are your thoughts on this event? It looks like you're going to get character shards, purple and orange gear, raid orbs. What are your thoughts on this? This seems slightly different than anything that we've seen before.
Yeah. They're definitely trying something new with this, but my concern is what they've been doing with milestones a lot is kind of like experimenting to see what they can get people to spend for. So like on the surface, if nothing else, like it sounds like just free extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like just, all right, now we're gonna get more stuff for doing what we're already doing. The question is gonna be a couple things. Like one, are using the specified characters in raid gonna make you lose more? Because if you end up like, I had to run this stupid combo for the milestones, and now I lost on this boss node that I would normally beat. Like, it might end up costing you more in raid heals and raid energy and stuff like that. So, got to keep an eye on that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it'll depend on like how easy is this to hit. Like, is this just going to be free extra stuff we're all going to very easily get, or is this going to be, things that we're going to really have to like go hard on or spend to even complete? And yeah, it just depends. Like, what are the rewards? Where are they weighted? So I can't really weigh in on this until we see how they actually have the milestones set up. But on the surface, it sounds like free extra stuff. So worst case scenario, they'll be terrible, and we'll just passively get a little bit of free extra stuff, and it won't be worth the trouble of going for a lot of it. But we'll see.
Well, here's the thing. If we look at it as good, and they don't implement the changes to Ultimus 7 to change up the points, maybe it may be worth dropping down to Ultimus 6 to use some of these characters that normally wouldn't win on Ultimus 7 or in one of the Greek raids.
Yes, it might make more sense if the rewards are better. It might make sense to do that, but I hope that's not the case, because you don't want them in a position where they're convincing you of reasons to do easy raids instead of pushing to try the tougher stuff. So you might be right, but I hope not.
I get it. It's definitely going to depend on what the rewards are to see if it's worth it. We'll see. We'll see what it is. And as usual, there are some data mines that we got in the game. Nothing too major. Most of the data mine that we got from last Friday has been announced in game, with the exception of this one right here. Availability update: recruit Human Torch. Human Torch has been added to Ultimus Orb, Basic Orb, Premium Orb, Mega Orb, and Supply section of the store. Again, this is a data mine, so this is all subject to change. But what are your thoughts on Human Torch coming? Do you think this means that the rest of the Fantastic Four is coming soon? What are your thoughts on this little piece that we got from this data mine?
Yeah, I mean, that's usually the assumption, is that they're eventually going to make the rest of this team a little bit more farmable. I mean, that alone has never meant that much to me, because the chance of getting a new character from a Premium Orb or an Ultimus Orb or a Mega Orb, it's all pretty low, and we don't get that many of them these days. So, for the people who are like,
farmable character, like Black Widow.
Technically. But even then, it was never saying, like, now it makes sense to farm the character. It was just saying, technically. So, yes, Human Torch will technically become farmable. And I mean, I assume you do want them to implement this, right?
Yeah, it is good. I'd rather have them in these orbs than not in anything, so it's good.
You'd rather have them farmable somehow than not at all. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not... This is really good news for the people who are like, oh, I was 6 shards away from getting him. I was so close. Like, that's good. Now you might get that one lucky premium, and now you've got the new character. But yeah.
Basics as well. Basics as well. Don't forget the basics.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, claim all those basics. I think, and I could be wrong here, I'd like to see, but I feel like some of the newer characters have been unfarmable for longer than in the past. Like, usually there wasn't that much time before Falcon, you eventually had a way to get the character.
I think Falcon was the first power armor before rescue, right? Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
This has
I know, we're going way back. This is like when like Endgame came out, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a freaking long time. And on the one hand, I get it, because they want these good characters. They want you to feel the pressure to get them when they're new. Otherwise, you got to wait a while. But this is a long time, and they're ramping up the amount of characters they're releasing. So I hope they start making these characters more available at a quicker pace. This is getting a little ridiculous. And it's not even affecting me for the most part, because I'm just wailing out on them when they launch. But I feel terrible for everyone else. I think this is horrible. So they need to get this fixed.
I agree.
Speed it up. We shouldn't have characters backlogged from 6 months ago. Get a move on, Fox next.
Or over a year ago. I know you consider Black Widow farmable, but I don't. So.
Well, let me back up. Black Widow is intentionally Premium Orb exclusive. So they have a few characters that the whole gimmick of that character, Thanos is one of them too. They've explicitly said they have an increased chance over other characters in the Premium Orb, and it's because Premium Orbs are the only way to get them. So they're intentionally making those characters rare. And I think they recently, like, Nobu used to be Premium Orb exclusive, and they bumped them out, put them on a node.
Thank
when
goodness.
they put Thanos in, I think. So my guess is when they decide on a new Premium Orb exclusive character, which will be sad news for whoever that new character is, my guess is that they'll bump Black Widow out and actually make her farmable somewhere finally. But I think those characters are supposed to have their window of time where
her out. Minerva should have bumped her out a long time ago. Black Widow shouldn't be in this long, in my opinion. So that is about it. That is all I see for the news. Do you have anything else that we forgot, or anything that you got coming up that you want to promote?
No, I got a bunch of YouTube content coming out, and I got a bunch of infographics coming out. Today we worked out the 18 new unique sure to win Blitz teams and all the subs and everything. So now I just have to make the graphics. So maybe another day or two on that. I got Orange Essentials. Yep, I've been getting asked nonstop about it. Some people think that I make an amount of teams based on how many saved squads we have. So a bunch of people are like, hey, now that we have more saved squads, now are you doing more? It's like, well, I do as many as there are. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Even if we stay at 20 saved squads, if there's 23 teams, that's what I'm going to put on there. But anyway, yes, so that should be coming out. Got Orange Essentials for the Defenders coming out today. Got Orange Essentials for Supernatural coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
Got a bunch of footage of Coulson on War Defense, and people are confused about how good that is, so I'll get to show people. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the works, so keep an eye out.
Subscribe to his channel. The links are down below. So thank you, Khasino, once again for joining me. These are always fun, and I love interrupting you. I know you love interrupting me, and I know some people don't mind, but some of the comments. Hold
on. Let me just say. All right, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, I always have fun. So thank you again, my friend.
Take that, comment section.
I hope you guys had fun too. Take that, guys. I hope you guys had fun. If you did, subscribe to the channel because we do these every single week. We have not missed a day in over 6 months, my friend. You have been sick, I've been sick, we've both been out of town, but we have not missed a day in over 6 months. I think that is impressive. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see this every single week, plus a lot of other stuff on this channel. Join that notification squad. Check out some of the links down below. ClanHQ, BlueStacks, a bunch of other stuff there, and check me out on social media. I will see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, out!
Wait.